We're looking today at the dignity of work, the value of work, connecting your faith with your work. The fact that we are all preachers 24/7 with our lives, how we conduct ourselves. We are to be salt and light in the home, in the community, in the workplace, in the church, wherever God has placed us. Many of us will be unhappy if we don't see the dignity and the value of all work. Everyone doing their work well are doing the will of God. To work in a God-honoring way is very, very important because all work has dignity. White collar, blue collar, green collar, if there's such a one, church work, wherever it might be, in the home. Genesis 11 verse 4 is interesting. Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower whose top is in the heavens. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. We see work going wrong at the Tower of Babel. Why? They got together to work. Why? To make a name for themselves. They worked for status, for power, for pride. Look at me, the great tower I have built. Once you go down that track, your work will always make you miserable. It's a bondage. Daniel 4, Nebuchadnezzar, is this not great Babylon I have built? Isn't that an epidemic in society today? Look what I have done. A lot of social media is just about that. Look at me, look at me. I don't think anyone actually does want to look at you. But it's easy to think like this. If I do my job well, if I'm successful, I'm paid well, people will admire me. And then I'm going to feel good about myself. When that is the focus of your work, it all goes south. Everything breaks down as it did in Babel. When work is all about me and my progress, my wealth, my esteem, my honor, then often in the process to get there, you're going to tread on other people. You're going to knock people down. You're going to use people because it's all about me, my profile, my prestige, my honor. I think we've lost a plot in this in many, many places, including myself. It's what we see in our world today. Someone put it this way, work is broken. In other words, we've forgotten how to do it in a God-honoring and a God-pleasing way. So when work is broken, we're broken too, because we've created this broken system. So what's the answer to all this? Well, see yourself as employed by God, fulfilling your calling as a marketplace minister, light and dark, salt and light in a dark world. Work for the glory of God to please Him. Because what is it you ultimately work for? If it's to get a name for yourself, as we've been saying, for status, for what, then that's when everything breaks down. Here's a story of a man by the name of John Coltrane. He was a great jazz saxophonist. And in his album called Love Supreme, he wrote these liner notes which have become quite famous. He said, in 1957, I experienced by the grace of God a spiritual awakening. At that time, in gratitude, I humbly asked to be given the means and privilege to make others happy through music. That became his goal. That became his reason for working, was to make others happy, to inspire them to live meaningful lives. So he was doing well in music, but it all depended on when people recognized him, he felt good, significant, had meaning. But when they didn't, it's kind of like, he lost the plot. But when he changed, his encounter with God changed his whole reason for why he worked at music. He now played his music for God and for the blessing of others. He no longer regarded it as something to prove himself to others, make himself feel valuable, a look at me. It was now for God, it was now for others. And he said it brought him greater fulfillment and happiness, more than he had ever known previously, when it was all about him and his profile and him feeling of worth.